into this topic and enjoy it, right? So, humming and moaning. I don't know if this is related to the sexual experiences, but humming and moaning can actually stimulate the other partner, right? And the reason is the improvement of nitric oxide production. When you hum, you vibrate your sinuses. When you vibrate them, you increase production of nitric oxide. You dilate blood vessels. You improve erections, and you prolong the erections. You see that? You didn't see that coming, right? Of course, you didn't see that coming. However, let's continue. Now, topic of the night, improving circulation. How do we improve circulation? Remember that blood is the most important component in your system. Why? The most important fluid for that matter. Basically, the circulatory system, the heart, the blood, and the blood vessels, okay? What this blood does is it's supposed to carry oxygen from the lungs. So basically, blood goes through the lungs, takes oxygen, and then ferries all over, goes to the heart, and then is pumped outside the body to supply this blood towards every tissue in your system. Tissues require oxygen for survival because they have cells. Organs require oxygen for survival. Muscles require oxygen for survival and also metabolism. When you have limited oxygen being supplied to the muscles, muscle cramps start happening. That's why most of you start having muscle cramps even with the slightest exercises, because your blood flow is limited and you also breathe through the mouth all the time. When you breathe through the mouth, you're wasting time. All right? You're actually straining yourself. So the amount or the quality of oxygen that is being delivered to the muscles is now limited, and now problems start. You start having those muscle cramps, okay? So it's very important to actually practice breathing techniques and breathe through the nose when you're actually working out. Whether heavy workouts, it doesn't matter. Just practice breathing through the nose. There's a reason why people tape their mouths when they're training or when they're sleeping, to prevent them from snoring, because snoring is basically breathing from the mouth. And you vibrate those muscles in the throat and you start snoring. Guys, by the way, have you ever slept in one room with the person who is snoring? One snore will take away your sleep so fast. You're looking at this person, you're like, ay. Where were 10? Anyway, let us continue. So we are ferrying oxygen to tissues. We are ferrying nutrients to tissues. We are ferrying minerals, including water. We are taking them all to the tissues, and the only transport channel to ferry these things to the tissues is blood. So therefore, we cannot have any conversation without talking about blood circulation. We cannot. It's difficult for us to roll conversations, healthy conversations, without talking about circulation. And I just realized this the other day. Last week I was doing some research, and of course, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we do a chapter a day. So I was doing this chapter a day in the morning, and I realized there's so much to learn about circulation that I've never tackled. I always tackle the conditions that come with the circulatory system, but I've never tackled circulation. So I realized, okay, so let me do this so that these people get the baselines, people understand this, why it is important, and you will actually see that most of the conditions that you complain about, the slightest conditions that you complain about, whether muscle cramps, whether dizziness, loss of memory, these small things, including wound healing, poor wound healing, are actually coming from the center of decreased circulation of blood in the system. All right? And of course, diabetes being one of the things that actually blocks circulation of blood throughout the system. So most of us will be so interested to know how to dilate blood vessels so that you can actually improve blood circulation towards all organs and tissues so that your system functions perfectly. I don't know what is happening to my YouTube. All right, it's back. Okay, so yeah, so that is what I'm saying. So you want to dilate blood vessels. So the opening up of the blood vessels is what we call vasodilation. Dilate, vasodilation. Vaso means blood vessels, dilation means opening. When they open up, you flow blood towards tissues and organs, and you function optimally because they are now nourished. All right? And then I came to realize that the most important gas in terms of dilation of blood vessels is called nitric oxide, the NO. All right? Nitric oxide. That's the most important gas that is involved in dilation of blood vessels. Now, realize this. We talked about atherosclerosis. Do you remember that? The thickening of blood vessel walls and then the narrowing of the diameter, and now the heart is struggling to pump blood through these blood vessels, being a sugar complication problem. Do you remember that? Okay. If you don't remember that, there's a video about atherosclerosis. Simply walk to my YouTube and go to the section of videos and just check out atherosclerosis. You will see that video. It's so important, very, very, very detailed, but very easy to understand, and you will see where it's coming from. So you'll stop blaming cholesterol. Now, that gas is produced from multiple things, but the most important things are the diets. So the green leafy vegetables, the beetroots, right, the nuts, the meats, all these things are coming in with raw materials that will help you synthesize nitric oxide, which is a gas that is involved in vasodilation. All right. However, on your blood vessel wall here, inside the lining of the blood vessel wall, we have a thin layer of cells that are called the endothelial lining. The endothelial lining, basically they are endothelial cells. These endothelial cells, one role of these cells is to make sure that blood flows through these blood vessels smoothly without interruption. Number two, they have an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase. Lipoprotein lipase. It is a lipoprotein, lipid and protein, then lipase. Lipase means an enzyme that catalyzes reactions in fat metabolism. So this enzyme, its role is to trap any fat globules in blood, hydrolyze them, and make them diffuse through the blood vessel wall and go into the fat cells. Look at how important that is. Not only are we improving blood circulation through this blood vessel, we are also trapping every single fat that is actually there just hanging in blood, attached on either the proteins. So we trap it. These enzymes helps us to hydrolyze the fat and then to diffuse it through the blood vessel wall into the fat cells for storage and waiting future use. How important is that enzyme? Very, very important. Now realize this. If you ever have any injury on this blood vessel wall, this lining, one, you have destroyed the integrity of flow of blood. So therefore, there will be so much alteration in blood. You can actually start forming clots from that inflamed sites. That's a problem to you, right? You form clots, they block your blood circulation, you get a heart attack or a stroke or even a pulmonary embolism and you die. Now, number two, any inflammation on that endothelial lining is going to reduce the amount of lipoprotein lipase enzyme. That tells you that those triglycerides that you see in blood all the time, they will be there now. They will clog your arteries and cause you problems. I am using the word triglycerides. I am not using the word cholesterol. I'm using the word triglycerides. So those triglycerides, the fats that are actually coming in from fructose, the sugar, that are basically in the blood system, they are trapped by lipoprotein lipase and sent into the fat cells. But any inflammation on this blood vessel wall, you start exposing yourself to more problems, more inflammation, more heart attacks and strokes. And then you blame it on cholesterol, when cholesterol comes in to fix the problem, to fix that inflammation. So you must be very smart to actually overlook or outsmart the system. All right? Having understood that, this same endothelial lining is the major site for production of nitric oxide. Realize an enzyme that is supposed to actually convert amino acids to nitric oxide, it's called nitric oxide synthase. Synthesize nitric oxide from what? Amino acid. So that enzyme is also rich in this endothelial lining. So the more you destroy that endothelial lining, you're causing a lot of problems. Somebody is asking, kindly inflammation ni nini? Robin, inflammation is basically, let's say, just like forming, let's say a wound. Let's use the word wound, okay? So ni kama umechimbua. It's like you're corroding this level, this layer here. So when you corrode it, you're forming like a wound in quotes. You see that? All right, amazing. Somebody from Mogadishu, Somalia, amazing. Amazing. Nice to have people from Somalia here. So now, any corrosion on that blood vessel wall, we call that inflammation. That will expose you to a lot of problems. It will expose you to high fats in the system. It will expose you to what? Blockage of the blood vessels and clots forming. It will expose you to low nitric gas formation, nitric oxide gas formation. What does that mean? It means you're going to get a lot of problems in terms of dilation of blood vessels. And now this will start narrowing. You see, now you're not dilating the blood vessel, which means you're now limiting the dilation. So the blood vessels are there. And because you're actually causing inflammation and you're thickening this blood vessel wall, because inflammation also involves swelling, that means the pressure is going to increase. Therefore, a lot of people who have hypertension or who have a diagnosis of hypertension are actually struggling because of limited amounts of nitric acid in the system. Now, the danger also is here. You produce nitric acid in the system and it's metabolized so fast. It's like a cigarette. The nicotine in a cigarette, you smoke that cigarette and it induces its own metabolism in the liver. You break it down so fast and you want another cigarette. So you're always unstable. Right? In the moment you are very angry, you smoke a cigarette, you're a very good person. The next minute you are again angry. Always unstable emotionally because of the addiction of smoking. This is the same concept here. So nitric acid is produced, yes, very, very much of it is produced in the blood vessel lining to help dilate blood vessels, but is again broken down so fast and released from the system so fast. Therefore, chances of you being indeficient of nitric acid, nitric oxide, sorry, why am I saying nitric acid? Nitric oxide gas are very high. You see that? So any inflammation is going to cause you more problems very fast. Higher. Sink that in, and let's now go back to where we're getting nitric acid from. Where are we getting this nitric oxide from? Because that's the most important topic here. Okay? The NO gas, where are we getting it from? Because now we have the enzyme, we've understood where this enzyme is, and we've understood where is the site of synthesis of this NO gas. So where is it coming from? The raw materials for synthesis of NO gas. Number one is amino acids, and 2 amino acids. And I've seen a lot of you are paying attention. When I put this post in the Telegram platform last week, everybody was coming into my inbox asking me where to get the supplements for L-arginine and L-citrulline. 2 amino acids that are very important in the synthesis of NO gas. 2, L-arginine and L-citrulline. Don't bother cramming those words or those names. Understand that these are amino acids. What are amino acids? Amino acids are the compounds or the end products of protein metabolism. Take yourself back. If amino acids are the compounds or the end product of protein metabolism, so which are absorbable from the gut into the system, what does that tell you? People who are deficient in nitric oxide gas are actually deficient in the diets that are actually bringing in the NO gas, right? Which tells you these people who have been warned against red meat are actually struggling with hypertension. Hello? Hello? So you're struggling with hypertension and you're avoiding red meat. So where are you going to get the natural production of nitric oxide gas to help you dilate blood vessels and improve your outcomes in hypertension? Eat meat. Red meat plus white meat. Eat them in plenty. Make them fatty. Did you see that? Do you see how interesting health is? You understood these things. You, from the genetics, you are eating meat. But somebody just distracted you and you went into the fallen path. Now it's up to you to actually find the information to bring you back on track. This is the information. Very easy to understand. So therefore, 2 amino acids, L-citrulline and L-arginine. Where are we getting them from? We are getting them from red meats. We are getting them from white meats because we break all these white and red meats into amino acids, which now we absorb. Therefore, your body does not know red and white meat. Your body knows amino acids. So this nonsense of why eat white meat and drop red meat should stop now, as soon as yesterday, right? Because your body does not know you ate red meat. No, it knows these are protein, metabolize it, and the end product is amino acids. So your bloodstream does not know you ate red meat. It knows you brought in amino acids. Your liver does not know you ate red meat. It knows you brought in amino acids. Therefore, metabolize amino acids in this direction. Some of these amino acids are broken down to give you ATP, energy, in the Krebs cycle. We've talked about that. Some of them are used to form bigger proteins that are supposed to be used in muscle development and muscle repair and bodybuilding. And some of them, of course, are now converted to glucose because the body does not know how to store protein. So it converts excess amino acid into glucose and then glucose into fats, and then we store them into the fat cells. That's why eating lean meat is a problem. It can expose you to more problems in terms of diabetes and obesity. Lean meat. Fatty meat you cannot, because it will actually block you from overeating that. Now, some of these amino acids, the 2 now, the L-citrulline and L-arginine, are now converted because they are now in the bloodstream, right? And now they are trapped by that enzyme called NO synthase, and they are converted to nitric oxide gas. Now, this gas stimulates channels that will actually cause the smooth muscles of the blood vessels to relax. Once they relax, you dilate blood vessels. When you dilate blood vessels, there's boom, blood flow towards tissues. There is a slow or a fall in blood pressure. Therefore, no medication for blood pressure. Because if you take medication for blood pressure and again you go and take, let's say, that Viagra, you're going into hypertension, and that's a problem. You see that? Amazing, amazing conversation. How can you miss these talks? How? I mean, how? I told you, let every other work remain for me. Wewe kazi yako ni kuja, kaa na kalamu na kitabu, ama ingia channel yangu na notebook. Just read, just sit back and enjoy the classes. Oh, you'll never regret that step. You'll become a doctor on your own. And then, of course, the mainstream doctors will start hating on you. You're not a doctor. What are you telling us? And then KMPDU will come after you. All of them are pretending like, you know what, this is a quack. And then you ask them, oh, is he a quack? Please tell us, what is the quack in him? Or her? What is she saying, or what is he saying that is not the right thing? Oh, they will come because of ego. They want to now stamp authority. They'll use you as an example. Ili uwe funzo kwa wengine wenye hulka kama zako. They will use you as an example. So be very careful. As you share this information, you might land in trouble, okay? Unless you are protected by the law and unless you're protected by the license. So be very careful. Because those people that you're thinking that you are creating a client base, because most of you will get this information, then you start your platforms and you start selling people things, because you are looking for money. You're not honest in what you're doing. You're just looking for money and resources because you think being famous is a good thing. We will make money, you'll get endorsements. Now you go that direction, and these guys will come after you. When they come after you, now you start, Doc, how can I? I'm like, hey, no, I'm not involved. Please, fight your own battles. You are alone. There's no doc here. So be very careful as you share this information, because again, people around you are just evil. All right? Yeah, they are evil, and you'll get in more trouble. Anyway, let's continue. So now we have understood where it's coming from. That is number one. The biggest source of NO gas is coming from consumption of amino acids, basically the meats and the animal proteins. Now, on the other side, green leafy vegetables and also cruciferous vegetables can actually come in handy to actually help you get this nitric oxide, because they are rich sources of the nitrites and nitrates that can be converted to actually nitric oxide and then help you the same way. So therefore, green leafy vegetables, the cruciferous vegetables, basically just vegetables, and the animal proteins are very important in this process. Okay? Good. So let us continue. We have understood where it's coming from, green leafy vegetables and the meats, the animal proteins, eggs, liver, all these animal proteins, enjoy them. We have understood that on the lining of the blood vessel is where we get the enzyme that converts these amino acids into nitric oxide, which will help in dilation of blood vessels. We have understood for you to actually transport blood to tissues and organs, you need dilation of blood vessels, therefore you need nitric oxide. It is the only gas that you actually need here because it's very important. So the message should be that one. All right? Now, from there, most people, when I just put out that post, everybody was running to buy, asking me, oh, Doc, which is the best place or the best supplement shop that I can actually go and purchase this L-arginine and L-citrulline. This actually showed me a lot of gaps, because most of you are so interested in the quick fix. Nobody wants to actually do the long process. Instead of you asking about the meats, you're asking me about the supplements. So you want to continue eating whatever you're eating that destroys your endothelial lining, and then go and buy a supplement to actually, even if I give you a supplement, let's say I give you L-citrulline, which is the most potent one among the two, L-citrulline. So for those of you who are interested in going to purchase supplements, prefer L-citrulline over L-arginine. Now, so you're asking that because you don't want the long process. You just want these shortcuts. All of you are always interested in shortcuts. Most of you, actually, not all of you. Most of you are interested in shortcuts. You don't want to go the long way. So then I give you the supplement. I've given you the amino acids. Well done. Right? But one, it is synthetic. So therefore, the body struggles to assimilate synthetic products. Number two, it has a lot of things, a lot of ingredients, the preservatives and all that. Number three, you don't have the enzyme that is supposed to convert this L-citrulline into NO. Why? Because you have inflammation in the blood vessels. So who told you that me giving you a supplement is going to fix your problem? You see, you still have to go the long way either way. So if you are diagnosed with hypertension and you're asking me about how Viagra is important in this process, how L-citrulline supplements are going to help you, you are somebody who is interested in quick fix. In my platforms, if you want quick fixes, please go to hospitals, go to supplement shops and buy. Here, we encourage you to lead a healthy life, and secondary to that, you reverse chronic conditions. That is our role. All right? And remember this, please. Like the live, share the live, because once you do that, that's the only support you're giving to us. As we dispense this information to you, we are educating and pumping something into your head. It's only fair that you stop being mean. You share the live to other people. Like the live. I mean, you can't just sit there and become very mean. Eh? Look at you in that kahat. Eh? You're having this pressure. Why would I like this life? Why? Eh? Eh? You're not fighting. You're fighting yourself. You're like, why am I not the one who is doing this? I want to do these type of lives, but why am I not the one who is doing this? So why would I like? I'm like, okay, no problem. You sit back and enjoy the show. No problem. Okay? Good. So now you've understood where that gym guy, that bodybuilder was coming in with the Viagra thing. So let me tell you, the mode of action of Viagra is to stimulate production of the NO gas. So when you stimulate the production of NO gas, you dilate your blood vessels, you increase the blood flow towards the muscles and towards the tissues. And most importantly for the men who are struggling with erections and the ones who are actually go and use Viagra for erections, Viagra will dilate blood vessels in your penis. Blood will flow into that penis, and realize the penis is like a sponge. Once it soaks with the blood, you get this firmness, and that is an erection. And as long as you're improving that blood flow towards the penis, you're going to get your erections. All right? And now, this is not me telling you, oh, you know what, now Viagra is the solution to erection problems. No. Testosterone is your solution to your erection problem. So go the longer way again. Realize Viagra can expose you to heart attacks. It can expose you to pancreatic cancer. It can expose you to low blood pressure, and that will cause you problems because, again, you've used it, you've lowered your blood pressure, and you're going there to be vigorous. You're going to suffer. You're going to go into a coma. And of course, we will celebrate you and we'll say, rest in peace, soldier. You did well. You did well. Okay? So, be a person who embraces natural stuff. Now, again on that bodybuilder stuff, a lot of bodybuilders are using steroids to actually activate protein metabolism so that they can build much muscles. That process accelerates aging. And realize, as you age, your blood vessel levels and blood vessel integrity starts to go down. Your inflammation is going up because of consumption of all these unhealthy foods. So what does that tell you? It means your production of NO gas goes down, right? When it goes down, as you age, you are more exposed to these chronic conditions like hypertension. Now, on that note, people who go to the gym and they use synthetic protein supplements, they use soy products, they use protein shakes, they use steroids. This is your topic. You're going to cause inflammation to your blood vessels, you're going to expose yourself to more problems. Have you ever seen a 22-year-old guy who uses steroids? Do you see how old they look? Now, allow me to just ask you this question. The same guy who was talking about the Viagra, how old does he look? Hey. Sometimes when you choose to follow people, when you choose to listen to some things and you share these videos to me, I'm just like, guys, you can't be that serious. A guy who is using steroids has actually accelerated aging processes. They look so old. They look so old, and you're like, are you really 22? Are you really 23? You guys look so old. These guys are walking with their thighs held together just because they, I'm like, come into fitness. Now, if you're a bodybuilder, well done. This is not a platform for bodybuilders. This is a platform for people who want to lead a healthy life. This is not for bodybuilders. If you want to be a bodybuilder, we wish you well. Go use those steroids if you want to. But remember, steroids, and they also use painkillers for those muscles, because when they hurt themselves in the gym because of overlifting and the ego lifting, they end up using muscle relaxants and painkillers. So NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, steroid drugs, all these things are cumulatively going to bring a lot of problems to your blood vessels. When they destroy the integrity of the blood vessel, they reduce the enzyme called what? NO synthase. Now they are unable to synthesize nitric oxide to dilate their blood vessels. And then what do you expect? They have to use the Viagra. So the mess that they create with the steroids, they are trying to counter it with Viagra. And they make it look like it's so interesting. You know what? When I use this, I dilate my blood vessels and I send blood into these blood vessels. The truth is, the science behind it is the steroids that you're actually using are destroying the integrity of your blood vessels. You are reducing the enzyme that is supposed to convert amino acids into nitric oxide gas to dilate blood vessels. When you go into deficiency in NO gas, your blood vessels are constricting. Therefore, you're going to have an exposure to strokes. And for you to prevent yourself from getting that, you're now countering that using the blue pill. Amazing, right? Things they will not tell you. One side effect also of Viagra is something called Priapism. Do you guys know what Priapism is? Priapism. What about creatine? Why don't you get creatine in meat and eggs? Why don't you eat eggs? Why would you go and purchase an expensive supplement when you can actually buy eggs? I come from a place where eggs are sold at 17 shillings. Kenyeji eggs, 17 bob. So why would you go for a refined product in terms of a supplement? There is no food packaged in a can. There is no food coming from an industry. Leave alone the nonsense that they're telling you, oh, it's highly studied, the most studied supplement is creatine, and then they sell you a whole bottle of creatine. Go eat meat. We don't want shortcuts here, okay? So don't ask me questions that are actually shortcuts. Why don't you just eat meat? I've sung this multiple times. Eat meat. Eat eggs. Drop the creatine supplements. Drop any supplements in the gym. What you need is basically minerals and then amino acids that are natural from the natural sources. So why do you want something that is made in the lab? Is modern eggs still healthy? We tell you to rear your own chicken. We tell you to rear your own chicken because you'll have control over that, right? Because ideally, if you're eating the plastic eggs, of course, what do you expect? There are eggs coming from China and they're all over. And in this platform, we tell you, you know what? Any money you're making and saving, buy a piece of land and then be independent in terms of start rearing these animals so that you get your chicken to feed on free range, feed on pasture and all that. Grass, worms, grains, and then they can give you healthy eggs for consumption. You don't need a lot, no. But do you want to listen? You want to eat broiler eggs, right? You want to eat eggs that don't have yolks. They don't have, oh, they have yolks, but they don't. You can ovum like cannot be fertilized. You want to eat eggs that are coming from China, plastic eggs. You chew them like chewing gum. Hey, somebody's saying eat omena and meat. My physique is getting better every day. Yes, omena and meat are there. So you see, when you tell people to eat 6 to 8 eggs a day, they start thinking, oh, now how will I get 8 eggs? But you have a lot of animal proteins to actually supplement. Those eggs from China have a stamp of date of manufacture and date of expiry. What the hell is this? And then, imagine they are fortified. And the eggs are fortified with vitamin A, D, E, and K. I'm like, how did you fortify an egg? Did you inject it something? Like now an egg is not naturally fortified. Now you fortified the egg. I'm like, if you think I'm lying, just go on Google and check fortified eggs. You'll see them. Anyway, let us continue with the conversation. At the fortified eggs. Nowadays, vitu tunakula. So, how can you tell a bad egg? I cannot tell you how to tell a bad egg. I can tell you how to tell a good egg. Rear your own chicken. Rear your own chicken. Yeah? Rear your own chicken. Don't look at a bad egg. You rear your own chicken, then you'll never worry about bad eggs. Right? Good. Let's continue. Now, mode of actions of this nitrous oxide. So how does it work? How does it improve circulation? Why are we talking about it anyway? Number one, very important, that it relaxes smooth muscles of the blood vessel and then they dilate. Once they dilate, blood flow improves. Perfect. Number two, so when blood flow improves, muscle metabolism is up because there's oxygen coming in, therefore more metabolism, therefore more delivery of minerals and all that to the muscles. brain function is improved, heart muscle function is improved, a lot of things are improved. All right. I'm in the UK. I don't know how. You see those pastured eggs, the pastured eggs. If you're in the UK, find the pastured eggs. All right. I've seen people saying the one that are labeled on organic eggs. It's just a name organic. Food industry woke up early. Pastured eggs are better. Or go to the farmers, the Mexican farmers in those villages there and just buy these things from there. Go to African owners of these groceries from Africa. They bring you those eggs. All right. So that is number one. Mode of action number one. We improve. We improve the flexibility of blood vessels. We dilate them by relaxing blood vessel walls. Number two. NO is a neurotransmitter. What do we mean by a neurotransmitter? Basically, it transmits signals across nerves. So we have two nerves. These signals that are being transported against those two nerves or between those two nerves, NO is involved. This is why most of the neurodegenerative problems, Parkinson's, dementia, most of these conditions are coming in as a result of lack of enough nitric oxide gas and also vitamin D. All right. So that's second mode of action of the second mode of action of this. So therefore, degeneration of this NO gas, any inflammation in your blood vessels that is going to cause you a reduced production of this NO gas is going to expose you to what? Neurodegenerative disorders. It starts from a mild memory loss or brain fog, and then you think it's sugar, and of course it's sugar because sugar destroys the blood vessels. Okay. So it starts with a brain fog, then memory loss, and then now you start losing memory totally. Like I forgot everything. You forget even your car keys on the supermarket shelves because you are a sugar addict. Problems. All right? Yes. Number three, for those guys who are struggling with erections, we said NO gas can actually improve the dilation of blood vessels in the penis. We supply blood flow. Now you see that's double action there. It will improve nerve transmission towards the penis because for you to get an erection and a firm one and maintain it, you need blood flow and nervous transmission from the brain to the penis. Two things. You're killing two birds with one stone. You're going to dilate blood vessels to improve blood flow towards the penis. Now you have a firm erection. And then you're going to improve nervous transmission towards the penis. And now once that happens, you have a prolonged erection. Now you've dropped the title 1 Minute Man. Okay. The pressure has decreased. All right. Now, having understood that, those are the three modes of action of this. Basically, all of them are aiming at dilation of blood vessels and nervous transmission. That's what you need to know about this. Once you have that, you are a doctor of philosophy in blood vessel circulation or blood circulation. Whatever you want to name yourself, Dr. Blood Circulation, improved blood circulation, MBCHB. All right, you put that on your door, and of course, people trust you. And then you start selling them supplements for L-citrulline. Hey, Kenya biashara. Let's take a break a little bit. Just allow that to sink in as we meditate upon the next. And as we do that, one of the ways to improve NO production is to lose weight. We'll talk about it when we'll be talking about solutions for this. Lose weight. And of course, on Health and Wellness Sport, we bring you weight loss programs every month. So we bring you a 2-month program, which alternates with a 3-month weight loss program. This month of August, starting on Friday, I think it's the 15th, right? On Friday. So you have 4 days to actually book a slot for that program. So starting Friday, we are rolling a 2-month weight loss program, a very aggressive weight loss program and very, very interesting. So we hope you can actually join in and send a WhatsApp message to the contact that I'm posting here. 0707074722. That is our office contact. Please don't call that contact. Send a WhatsApp message. So stop calling it and then you come to me and tell me, you know what, that number is not being picked. Huu ni mkora. Nawezaje kuwa mkora na niko hapa every Monday and every Friday. I'm always here. I'm in Nairobi all the time. So mkora imetoka wapi? Hey. Some of you get entitled so badly. And some of you, just because you subscribe to my channels, you tend to think that we are now buddies. We are now friends. So you can hit me up anytime. Well, hey. Be warned, bana. Me mwenye hata sina friends. So as you think about friendships, me mwenyewe, I don't have friends. So as you think you are my friend, I'm like, hey, no, you are here because I have something that I'm sharing. So I'm sharing value. Without this value, you will not be here. Let's be honest with each other. So let's not make it look like, you know what, na support who jama. Listen, I'm teaching you something, you're learning something, you're getting benefits from it. Well, it's only fair that you support our platforms. I mean, if you don't want to, again, no pressure. I mean, you come and get the information and move. You are a mean person, and it's very understandable. Very understandable. So we don't judge you for you being mean. I mean, that's who you are until you start fixing yourself. But don't think that now we are buddies just because we interact on the internet. No, don't do that. Now you call me at midnight and then you send a text message. You actually text on all my platforms. You start on YouTube, and then you're on Facebook, and then you're on Telegram saying, oh, this guy is a con. I'm like, hey. Stop conning my platforms. Yeah? Sasa hiyo hata hujabook appointment. Hujabook appointment again, so this guy is a con. I'm like, ay, umekoniwa nini, my friend? So use that contact for either online consultations or the physical consultations. All right, that is one. Number two, use that contact to book a slot for the weight loss program that starts on Friday. So we have a weight loss program that starts on Friday. A 2-month weight loss program. Send a text to WhatsApp, and that contact is pinned here by 𝗕𝗟𝗢𝗙𝗍. Send a text to WhatsApp, they will respond to you, and then make a booking, and they will see you on Friday as we make calls to each one of you, and then we begin our journey from there so that you improve your nitric oxide. We also have merchandise that we are selling. We have the mugs, the coffee mugs, branded coffee mugs. We have the t-shirts. We have the water bottles, very beautiful water bottles. We have fermented cabbages. We have roasted coffee. We have activated charcoal. We have tallow, both for beef and for sheep. All these things that we teach here are actually available at Imenti House. The gentleman who is there in shop number 60 is called Brian. So go to Imenti House, the entrance opposite Beba stores. Go on the first floor, and then on the second floor, there's shop number 60. Brian Omwenga is the gentleman here. He will serve you right. All right? Good. Now, let's continue. So what are the things that actually hinder the production of this NO gas? So now that we know we need to form NO gas to actually get what we need, what are the things that actually block the formation of this NO gas? Does NO gas have effects on menstrual flow? Maybe menorrhagia? Very good question, right? But we have two types here. We have two sides of the story here. We have low NO and we have high NO. I think I'll hold on to that question so that these guys can actually answer that before we proceed, so that I see if there's somebody who has actually understood the basics of this. Very good question, Yvonne. I'll answer it, so don't worry. So now, I was talking about, so let me just put that on pause so that I can actually answer it as we start answering the questions. Let me record it. So of course, you can start sending those questions through. You can text it there, or you can put it somewhere. So I'll record those questions and then I'll answer them once we start our conversation. Good. So let's continue. So things that actually block you from Doc, I have joined late. Can L-arginine supplement help with blood circulation? Well, I think you'll go back to the live and you'll see where we talked about L-arginine and L-citrulline. But we said L-citrulline does a very good job above the arginine. Those are supplements that actually are converted to NO, and then they help improve circulation. Good. So let's continue. So I want you to know this. Anything that affects the integrity of blood vessels, causes inflammation in blood vessels, is going to actually expose you to what? Low NO gas production, and therefore problems with blood flow and circulation. Number one, wheat. Gluten and the glucose that is coming in from wheat, very dangerous to the blood vessel wall, right? We said the inflammatory food, the wheat, the sugar, and the seed oils. All these three are causing systemic inflammation in the blood vessels. Systemic inflammation is going to expose you to a lot of problems in terms of reduced enzyme that converts L-citrulline and L-arginine, the amino acids, to NO gas, therefore problems. All right? Number two, so that is for the inflammatory foods, causing inflammation in the blood vessels. Therefore, that means those foods should go. When we tell you to drop sugar in all forms, including fruits and honey, when we tell you to drop ugali, rice, and wheat, when we tell you to drop processed foods and junk, this is what we mean. These are things that expose you to systemic inflammation and therefore reduced NO and therefore problems. So you end up getting problems later. But when somebody is mentioning that problem, at that moment in time when you're getting the diagnosis of hypertension, you are going to focus on treating hypertension symptoms. You're not going to focus on changing the diet in terms of dropping those foods that are causing systemic inflammation. Some of you who have pulmonary hypertension will be given Viagra, sildenafil. But nobody will focus on how you ended up having low NO gas. But they are giving you a supplement to actually improve the production of NO gas, but they're not telling you where you can actually get it naturally. They're not telling you where the problem came in from. So you're constantly fixing the symptoms as you feed the disease. That's a problem. You see that? Yeah, that's a problem. As you feed the system, you take the medication to mask the symptoms. That's a serious problem. What's happening in these slides today? Number two, anything that is going to affect the gut in terms of gut microorganisms. Realize this, that gut microorganisms are playing a very important role in the synthesis or actually release of the nitrates and nitrites from the green leafy vegetables and the cruciferous vegetables. These same microorganisms are also causing the fermentation processes and also metabolism and digestion of the protein to release the amino acids for absorption. Therefore, anything that is affecting gut microorganisms from the mouth all the way to the rectum is a problem to nitric acid production. Number one, your favorite mouthwash. How many times will I talk about mouthwash? Drop the mouthwash, eat clean. Rinse your mouth with coconut oil or rinse your mouth with warm water plus salt. Now, most of you are forgetting to like the live. Just do it for us. All right, anyway, so the mouthwash. Most mouthwashes are coming in with preservatives and alcohol. These things are coming in to kill the mouth bacteria. When you kill oral bacteria, you have actually destabilized the normal flora of the gut. Therefore, problems later in nitric acid production. Number two, if you are destroying the microorganisms in the large intestines that are supposed to convert fiber, or those vegetables that are coming in, you're supposed to break them to release the nitrates and nitrites. Problems. Therefore, drop the mouthwash totally. Please, listen to me. The best mouthwash is salt and coconut oil. Drop that commercial mouthwash, plus those commercial toothpaste that have fluoride. Not only will they block the activity and calcify the pineal gland, causing you problems in sleep, they will also destroy your production of nitric acid, therefore more problems later. Now you might think, maybe I'm using just a small amount of the toothpaste. But look at it this way. You started using that toothpaste that you're using from the time you were about 2-3 years. So how much have you accumulated in terms of fluoride, in terms of all these parabens and the lauryl sulfates? How much have you accumulated along the way? So please drop that toothpaste you're using. Use salt, use activated charcoal, use diluted bicarbonate soda, use diluted hydrogen peroxide, use coconut oil. But the best is water and salt. All right? Use those things. Si ushamba. Use those things and then you can do flossing to remove the particles that are between your teeth. Don't allow your dentist to lie to you. You know what? That salt is backwards. No, salt is not backwards. Just look at nowadays in the supermarkets, there's Colgate that has salt. Do you think that's a stupid move? So if it was backwards, how is it then that Colgate is producing Colgate that has salt there now? How? And you look at your dental office, that office of your dentist, there is always Sensodyne or any other thing that is coming from these companies. Be careful. Be very careful. And then the adverts are, of course, they are marketers, but they pretend to be doctors. Oh, this is recommended by Dr. Fulani. Dr. Fulani. Eh? Doctor who? Hey, okay, daktari, sawa. But talk about the pineal gland. That's where they disappear. They start telling you, where is your research? I'm like, research? Pineal gland. You need a research to know you have a pineal gland. So, mouthwash and commercial toothpaste. Poor diets. Diets that don't have any nitric any nitrates or nitrates, basically a diet that is very low in vegetables. We're not saying you go and overfeed on vegetables because you'll come out with constipation. So consume vegetables in your food. Enjoy them, both the green leafy vegetables and the cruciferous vegetables. Consume animal proteins. They are the ones that are coming with the essential amino acids that are going to be converted to the NO gas. So eat all meats, red and white, okay? Because poor diet is a problem. And poor diets, we're talking about also inflammatory foods. The sugar, the wheat, the seed oils, drop them. They're going to mess up your gut and the blood vessels in general. Another thing that you need to do, please strengthen the stomach acid. So therefore, if you have weak stomach acid, that means you are not able to digest protein. Therefore, you're not going to release amino acid. Therefore, you're not going to get NO because it comes from the amino acids. For you to digest protein, you must have a strong acid in the stomach. It was there for that role. So stop telling us that meat sits in the stomach for 8 hours. It doesn't. It doesn't. It is you who has a weak stomach acid. Now you're blaming the meat. No, fix your gut. Fix the acid. All right? So NO gas is going to be produced after consumption of a healthy, fatty protein, animal protein diet. Those people who talk about plant-based proteins, please stay away from this conversation. Go ahead and eat your plant-based proteins, but after dawn, come back, wake up from that slumber and start eating meat. So therefore, this is not a conversation for vegans. My channel is not a vegan channel. My channel is for people who eat healthy foods, and healthy means eating all these organic and natural foods, animal proteins, veggies, avocados, nuts, and of course, the salt. So anything that weakens the stomach acid, in terms of diets, alcohol, sugar, seed oils, all of them are messing up the stomach environment. Add on that list medications. Medications like PPIs, the proton pump inhibitors, omeprazole, esomeprazole, the H. pylori kits. They weaken the stomach acid, they expose you to problems in terms of hypertension and all these conditions. Also, add on that line, we talked about steroids, right? The steroid drugs, the NSAIDs, non-steroidal and the steroidal. The steroidal drugs are drugs that are used in asthma, prednisolone. People who have sinuses always taking prednisolone, always taking dexamethasone. People who want to grow big. I've seen a lot of Kushites, the Somalis, the Boranas, taking a lot of dexamethasone tablets to just fatten. You are destroying your system entirely. So what is the need of you getting fat by just retaining water, affecting the kidney function, and you think you're being sexy? It's not sexy. You're just growing fat by retaining water because you're affecting your kidneys. So dexamethasone and the steroids are not supposed to be used to fatten. Thank you so much, Kombucha. I appreciate you. Dr. Kombucha. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Another thing that affects that. So PPIs, antacids, and all these medications that are called steroids, and also non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, the diclofenac, the ones that you use for menstrual pains and back pains and arthritis. Avoid them. All right. Yeah. If you use them for about 3 to 5 days. It's enough. Take a break. Cigarette smoking. We've said cigarette smoking is always among the things that actually cause you systemic inflammation, blood vessel erosion. And when I say cigarette smoking, let me just use the word smoking. Let me put aside the cigarette, so that cigarette becomes part of the smoking. If you're smoking shisha and you're taking smoke out of every orifice on your body, how much toxins are you getting in your system? Shisha, vaping, cigarettes, bang. Eh? Nowadays, you can sit in a vehicle with people and you're just getting the smell of somebody smoking something, but you don't understand. People have vape is now coming in forms of pen, right? Like a pen. These Gen Zs are carrying pens all over, but they're busy just smoking shisha. Smoking the vape. I'm like, electronic cigarettes. Also. Anyway, mtakuja undia healthcare pesa. No wonder hospitals are opening every single day. Every single day we have a hospital opening. We invest so heavily in healthcare, but people still die. We still have a lot of hospitals being overwhelmed. We want you to reduce the burden on healthcare also. All right? Okay, another thing that actually reduces NO production is poor sleep. And you realize this. Reduced NO will actually expose you to more poor sleep. So it feeds its own problems. Lack of sleep will cause you low production of NO, therefore more health problems. And then the less the NO you're having, the more less sleep you're having, now the more problems again. So one induces the other, and then this one induces this one. It's just a crazy scenario. That's an interesting one. Another thing, people who are on dialysis. Hello? You go to dialysis because of what again? Hypertension and diabetes, right? But diabetes more. So you go to dialysis because of diabetes. And the same diabetes caused systemic inflammation in your blood vessels. And now this diabetes is exposing you to low NO gas. Now you go for dialysis. So therefore, treating issues that are being brought about by sugar are going to cause you more problems that are actually brought about by sugar. What do I mean? NO is supposed to help you recover from hypertension, right? And maintain blood circulation and blood pressure. Sugar exposes you to hypertension by destroying the kidneys. So sugar destroys the kidneys. Now the solution to that is dialysis, but continue eating the sugar. Okay? Just continue eating the sugar now. So we have a dialysis machine. You don't have to worry. Even on that machine, eat those cakes. Drink that sugar. Drink that juice. I mean, it's a fruit juice. It's natural sugar, right? Yes. Drink that juice or yogurt. As you drink that yogurt, go ahead and do the dialysis because it can actually take you into low blood sugars. But what is this dialysis for? What is it for? As I speak, only the wise shall get my message. So you get diabetes. Diabetes exposes you to complication of diabetes, which is kidney failure. Now dialysis is needed. Now dialysis is going to expose you to low NO production. As you get low NO production, more problems that are related to sugar. Sugar feeds hypertension. Sugar feeds low NO production. Sugar feeds systemic inflammation. Sugar destroys the kidneys. And now, solutions to sugar problems, as you eat the sugar, will bring you a lot of sugar problems again. Aye. And as I speak right now, there's a guy who is awaiting dialysis tomorrow. There's a guy who came out of dialysis today. There's a guy who is nursing a mother or a father who has been on dialysis for the longest period of time. And the only unfortunate thing is, the same person who is undergoing dialysis every Tuesday, Thursday, and maybe 3 times a week or so, still consumes sugar. The saddest part of it is even those who are on dialysis machine, they will still come in my comment section and say, when I go for dialysis, my blood sugars go down, so therefore I need sugar to raise my blood sugars. They're the same guys who will come and tell me, you know what, natural sugar is quite different from the one that is coming from the industries. That's why I shifted from the table sugar to honey. And the same people will come and tell you, you know what, these are my drugs for hypertension, these are my drugs for the kidneys. And then I ask them, what do you use for cooking? And they tell you, my daughter's buying me 20 liters of Elianto. I eat brown bread. I went for a diabetic walk and I drank soda. We were given energy drinks. We were given oranges. Same people. Is it that we love our health, or is it that somebody distracted us from the information? And then, you see, being sympathetic is lack of an identity. Sympathizing with people is a lack of an identity. So some of you come to me and you think I'll sympathize. Me, I'll tell you the truth. So you come to me and you think I'll sympathize just because you're actually undergoing dialysis and you're spending a lot of money on that. No. My role is not to sympathize with you. No. I have to tell you the truth. And it's your choice. You either take it or leave it. Alright? Because there's no any other way around these things. We cannot sing about the same things over and over. And the weird part is, actually most of these people come and tell me, Daktari, I've been your follower. I'm like, so when you tell me that, my senses are always on. This is my follower. He must be understanding the basics. So let's run a conversation and see if he understands the basics. My friend, they fail from the question 1. And then I'm like, why do you follow me? Why do you follow me? They fail from question 1. Some of them know they have actually failed. So when they're telling you, when you ask them, do you eat fruits? They laugh. It's a laughing matter. Huh? It's a matter for laughing, right? Yeah, they laugh. Doc, these things are not easy. Doc, hapo kwa fruits, hapo kwa chapati, doc, I have a wife who makes very good chapatis and sometimes I get tempted. You get tempted. So you should have not even said you follow me. Like literally. Somebody who has been following me for just 3 months only. Must have a different mindset. But you, first of all, you have a goal to achieve. That goal is either reverse the chronic condition that you have or minimize the outcomes of the complications. So if you've been following me, because most of you are my followers, but you don't do what I say. You don't. When we are fasting, you guys don't fast. What are you telling me? You don't. But you'll wake up one day and post the app. Sometimes when you're fasting, you open the app and you forget. Then when there's the next cycle of fasting, you remember, so you forget to turn it off. And then when it's the next cycle of fasting, you realize, it's 324 hours of fasting. Somebody wakes up and posts 96 hours of fasting. I'm like, hey, just from nowhere and midweek, boom, you did 96 hours. And the 48 hours you've been struggling. Now you just slept and woke up and you're like, you know what? I'm going to shock these guys with this app. 96 hours of what? I'm like, okay. You can lie to me. Me, I'll clap. But you can't lie to yourself, can you? And if you do, how long? Even if you lie to me, how long will you lie and before I catch you? You people who turn on apps, you're liars. You're liars, Bana. Those guys who turn on at the app and they're telling I'm almost 1 hour to finishing they are busy eating. They are snacking on popcorns and eating everything. They're telling you, Daktari, I am when I post, I'm 1 hour to finish my fast. Ati am 1 hour, where? Acha hizo bwana. You're eating and yet you have a goal to achieve. Some of you tell you the cold showers, and when we'll be talking about sinuses on this live, you will realize cold showers are a must. But some of you tell you about cold showers, you say, doc, mimi nakuanga na sinuses. Si kila mtu ako na sinuses. Mimi nakuanga na tonsils. Nikioga maji baridi nakuwa sisi wote tuko na tonsils bila hata kuoga maji baridi. Hizo ziko tu, ziko. Tonsils ziko. Ni immune system actually. So maji baridi imefanya nini kwa tonsils? I really a cold shower. Like, na hii July, na hii August when ni baridi. I'm like, you know what? The choice is yours. I just said you take a cold shower. I'm not here to come and actually shower you with a cold shower. No. That's you to do it. If you don't want to do it, you go and take a hot shower. Sindio? So that we don't get into these aimless arguments here and there. No. It's not my way. It's not the highway. No. It's an agreement. We have a concordance. We must talk and agree. But if you think that what I'm saying is not making sense to you, it's July. If God gives you the grace, there'll be January, right? So yes, when it's hot, you'll take a cold shower. When it'll be expensive to do a dialysis, you actually start fasting. You'll drop the sugar. Let's keep moving. So that is dialysis machines. We've talked about inflammatory foods, of course. We've talked about antacids. We've talked about NSAIDs and steroids. Have we talked about antibiotics? No. Useless and aimless and abuse of antibiotics every single time. Remember, broad spectrum antibiotics that destroy all the good and bad bacteria, they destroy your gut. When they destroy your gut microorganisms, remember we said NO is produced when you have a healthy gut, healthy population of microorganisms in the gut. So anything that messes up the gut, drop it. Anything that messes up your system in terms of inflammation, drop it. All right? So therefore, people who are constantly using nasal sprays and the inhalers, they are steroids. Asthma is reversible. Reverse it so that you don't use the steroids. Sinusitis is reversible. Tonsillitis is reversible. Drop the sugars. Stop creating excuses. Okay? Once you reverse the condition, you don't need to use a steroid. You don't need to use antibiotics every single weekend and month. Those people who are always go hospital, you're using, is it Clarinets or Claritine or whatever it is, the brand names that you use for antihistamines. You're using Piriton, you're using prednisolone, you're using azithromycin and amoxicillin over the counter every single time, and augmentin. You're using celestamine every time. Oh, you're popping as, and this happens so much in the northern region. I don't know what happens with these Orias. They are constantly rubbing their throat. There's that irritating feeling of rubbing their throat. Constantly. But tell our Oria to drop rice and spaghetti. Tell them to drop the sugars. Yeah. So some of them just have to suffer. Because some of them have to be statistics anyway. Then they blame it on anything. Oh, unajua ni marashi. Oh, unajua nilienda sijui kwa vumbi gani. Oh, unajua ni ile gari nilipanda. They blame it on everything. And you see, there's this thing about the warriors. They are very slim. They're very thin. They are toffees. Most of them are toffees. So they think being thin, you know me, unaona mimi sina hata mwili. Unaona hata nikipima skari zangu ziko 2 point. Skari zangu ziko always 4 point. So mimi skari zangu ziko sawa. Unaona mimi hata sina mwili. Sasa nashangaa hii ugonjwa watu wanaona inatoka wapi? Hizi allergies zinatoka wapi? I'm like, hey bro, hey, you're fat. You are fat. Being slim is not a measure of being healthy, no. You're a toffee. And now when you go to that direction, they have to sprinkle in now the religion. Now they start saying, oh, you know, when you start going the direction of the religion, I'm like, I'm out. Ni mambo ya religion, mimi niko out totally. Kama unaanza kwenda hiyo direction na unataka tusaidiane, wewe enda hiyo direction basi. Mimi nakuambia what is true, you follow it or you bas, we go. Haya. People with sinusitis all the time. Why do we mention this? We asked questions. Ladies, did you answer that question? We said, if you've ever had an encounter with a white person, mzungu, or even the Orias. Oria leo mtanizame. If you've ever had an encounter with either a mzungu or somebody who is always having sinusitis, if your boyfriend is constantly having sinusitis, please tell us, are we okay down there? Because there's a direct link of sinusitis and erectile dysfunction. There's a direct link. Men who have constant sinusitis every single time, they suffer from erectile dysfunction. And there's a reason towards that. Or there's a reason behind that. Now, you see, we said the first production of NO is from the blood vessel wall, right? That's the biggest site in the body. The second largest site of production of NO is the cavities, the sinus cavities. You see, these cavities here. These cavities here. See, hizi ngozi ziko ndani. They are called sinuses. And when those cavities are inflamed, we call that sinusitis. So you don't have sinuses, you have sinusitis. Inflammation of the sinus cavity or the sinuses. So when you have that inflammation, let me give you a secret. When somebody is humming to a song, or when somebody is actually mourning during a sexual experience or a sexual process, they are causing a vibration in the sinuses. Now, this is not me telling men that when you're having sex now you start mourning aimlessly. Dr. Lewy said we should hum during sex. Now you have to look at it, who ni nani? A whole fat guy. He did not take the part of losing weight, no. He took the part of humming. And this guy is almost suffocating you down there. Dr. Lewy said, you know, hey, this is how we improve Nitric oxide production. Tawe, hiyo mimi siko. Kata weight kwanza, anza na hapo. Once you drop the weight, now you can talk about Dr. Lewy's. Tuachane nayo. This is why your husband starts to resent me. Hiki daktari, hiki kwanza kinaongeanga ni kama kina dictate vitu kwetu. Who does he think he is? Relax, brother, relax. If it touches you, it means you have to fix something. Go and fix it. It's not me, it is you. So I'm not giving you a shortcut to start mourning aimlessly. By the way, do you imagine a man mourning? Hey. Moans and then drops. Once he drops, 2 minutes later, he's snoring. You're like, Kwani, I took improve sinuses when we were mourning. Did we improve sinuses to stop this guy from snoring? So a minute ago he was mourning, and Dr. Lewis says, 2 minutes later he's snoring. But to fix gani, we start from the snoring or the Anyway, let's continue. So this is the second largest site for production of NO gas. This is why when you're training, please, when you're working out, never work out with an open mouth. You're breathing. Squats. You will not even push that squat. Poor quality of breathing. Therefore, you can actually tap your mouth. That's why most people, these athletes, they tap the mouth when they're sleeping so that they don't snore and they have nasal breathing. Breathing through the nose, that's a natural function. It improves production of NO gas. And do you know, when you're breathing, actually when people are doing the silent prayer and they are breathing naturally, breathing deeply and just easing it up, they will tell you how they feel so awesome. The only problem is they get into their thoughts and they get distracted by the thoughts. Right? And then they get lost in the thoughts. But when you're focusing on the breathing as you do the meditation and the silent prayer in the morning, just natural breathing and deep breaths, that's when you're producing the highest amount of NO gas. That's why you're told to breathe sigh. When you breathe sigh, when you're having mental fogging and all that, and the anxiety, you breathe in, NO is produced, vasodilation, blood flow towards the brain, you get the state of calm. That's why you're told when you're having erectile dysfunction or you're a 1 minute man, basically ejaculating faster, don't focus on the organ, focus on breathing. As you pound the arm, breathe deeply, hold the breath, and then release slowly. Breathe deeply, hold the breath, and then release slowly. It will actually get you off the organ. Now you can last another minute. Now you become a 2 minute man. Thank me later with the chicken. When you come to my office with the chicken in your armpits for helping you last 2 more minutes. Now you're a village champion, right? Amazing. But when you got from 2 seconds to 1 minute, you need to be celebrated. You need to slaughter a chicken and throw the wings everywhere. Say, hey, Master Leo. Brother Bernard, hey, poleni. Brother Bernard. So anyway, again, that actually I'll roll a series of videos on men reproductive health. I'll roll a series on videos. Wait, they will come. When I get to Nairobi from 26th, actually we are going to Nairobi from the 26th. Our physical consultations in Nairobi are starting on 26th all the way to the 4th of September. So you can book your appointments with us. And before I go to Nairobi, I roll that series of men reproductive health issues. Those videos. So I roll those videos so that men can actually become men again. So that you can pound that yam to satisfaction, and you know how much zeal that brings in you. Just knowing that, you know what, mama knows when the beast is home. Mama sings in the kitchen every morning after I've pounded the yam. I wake up, work out, take a cold shower, and then I pound. Then I go take another cold shower, head for work, and mama is happy. But these techniques of actually humming to songs and all this, these are done by women. That's why women have very few chances in these conditions. Men are actually coming in with a lot of chronic conditions than women. But the problem with women, identity. Where? Identity. So women will hum to songs and get this NO and improve their circulation and get very vibrant. Their skin is good and all that, because they take care of the skin anyway, but using products. So they'll harm and get all these issues, these effects. But I don't know if they are harming to run away from problems in marriage. I don't know. They'll hum to a Rose Muhando song as they move. But you look at here. So from the song, it's a song that is supposed to vibrate you. Like it's a gospel song that is interesting. But you look at her face, you're like, hey, umetoka wapi? Why are women so serious on these streets? Women are so hungry. Just ask her one question and she'll get from humming to the extreme. She just wanted somebody to just, it's like a balloon. You poke it with a pin, it bah! Hey! Women, what is happening? We can't blame it on estrogen, can we? We can't blame it on estrogen, can we? Why are most women so angry out here? Ati wewe imagine mtu amekuchafua bure, uniambia utajapa. Have you witnessed how the pigeons met? Before you even witness, it is over. Right? Pigeons in the house. Tukunywa maji tena. Pigeons in the house. Before we even see that pigeons were actually mating. So we are done. Now we have to wait for another 2 hours to see. We'll talk about that also. The refractory period in men. So those series of videos that are coming up for men are going to be interesting. And I hope they can actually help a man somewhere. So we don't want pigeons, we want men, right? Okay, so let's keep moving. So if you've ever experienced a man who has constant sinusitis, you realize that their sexual activity is actually hindered. It's actually a problem. And of course, men will always try to become harsh so that they block you from asking for the sex. So when they go into the defense mode, you just know this one is trying to actually hide from low nitric oxide production. So now you give him beetroots. Ladies, don't give up on that man and go and find another one. You will attract the same person in a different body. So give this one beetroot. Right? Yeah, give him beetroot and then extend the gaps of, if you're bringing supper to him at 7, at least go until 8. Let him complain a little bit. He'll use some energy to complain, and then of course he'll burn some calories. Then you bring in a meal that has no carbs. You've extended his fasting window by 1 hour, and then you brought in a 0 carb diet. Oh, you'll be a happy woman. And then you'll thank me with the chicken in your armpits again. So fix this one. You can. All right. Yes. So if you have sinusitis, inflammation of the sinuses reduces the production of NO gas. When you reduce the production of NO gas, that means now you have erection problems. That means you have problems with the skin. That means you have problems with memory. You have heart problems, the chest pains, which comes as a result of angina, right? And heart attacks are coming in. You have low chances of getting yourself in the clothes, because all these things are coming in as a result of low circulation. And I'll mention the diseases that actually come in as a result of low circulation or reduced circulation, so you can actually know how big it is. Okay, so that's how you do it. So improve sinusitis. Don't go and buy Clarinase or creatine or Celestamine. No, just change the diet and then start fasting. You'll see how it improves. And then if you're still working on that, you can actually now purchase the L-citrulline supplement or L-arginine, right? Meanwhile, but that is not the solution. The solution is in the long run. Okay, so again, start practicing the breathing techniques. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out slowly, and do this through your nose, not through your mouth. All right, and then start humming. When you hum to a song, or when you hum, or when you please do these things. You vibrate this the sinus cavity, you produce NO. Okay, yeah, and then start eating clean, of course. And then during the sexual process, always maintain the breath. Don't be that guy who breathes all through. No. Please breathe slowly and focus on the breath so that it distracts you from the organ and you go back to the breath. Amazing therapy. We should have talked about this during semen retention, right? So natural sources of nitric oxide, realize this. 1, green leafy vegetables. Number 2, nuts. All nuts. Number 3, celery. So celery is part of the green leafy vegetables and also part of the cruciferous. Beetroot is the highest source, actually. Beetroot. Now I'm feeling like a hero. Yesterday I ate beetroot. I'm like, beetroot. Amazing, right? Watermelon peels. The peels of the watermelon, not the watermelon itself, the peels. See the green part? Blend it. Now people who sell watermelons are about to make a living now. People are buying watermelons and just eating the peels. Hey. I don't think there's somebody who will do this. Akuta. Atu blend watermelon peels, wache ile ya sukari. Uongo. Eggs, liver, beef, All these animal proteins, very good. Garlic is another source of nitric oxide. However, also the spring onions, very important. But I want you to remember this, that anytime you want to improve NO gas production, you fix inflammation, you fix the gut, and then you eat healthy foods that actually serve you with NO production, or the nitrites and nitrates. But for you to maintain or to defend the already produced, yes, beans is also, Gatimi, beans is also part of that. But for you to maintain and defend the already existing NO, because realize you said NO is produced faster and metabolized very fast, so it leaves the system so fast, right? So which means, because we are having a gap between meals, you cannot constantly feed it through the diets. You'll have to rely on the blood vessels and the sinuses to produce it, right? So now for you to defend the one that is being produced, you must have an intake of vitamin C. If you are sharp, vitamin C, we also mentioned it when we are using collagen. You remember? Do you know collagen is actually used to form blood vessels, and is the reason why they are very elastic? Collagen is used in forming blood vessels. And now here we have something else that is coming in as a result of the blood vessels, same blood vessels. So for you to actually bring in active collagen in the system, you must take vitamin C. You remember when you said that? Again, when you have to maintain the nitric oxide that you're actually producing, you must take it with vitamin C. Which means the green leafy vegetables, the fermented foods, fermented cabbages and all that. Also the lemon peels. Very important. So you can soak lemon peels in warm water. Don't use hot water, because hot water will destroy vitamin C. Soak the lemon peels, not the juice, the lemon peels, maganda. Soak it in warm water, give it about 10 to 20 minutes, sieve it and then press and then drink that water. All right? That is high content of vitamin C. High contents of antihistamines and flavonoids, which will actually help in sinuses recovery. You see that? Bioflavonoids. And then vitamin C will maintain the already produced nitric oxide. Amazing, right? Things that you really need. Now, this is where real nutrition actually comes in. See, mambo yati, oh, avoid wheat, and then what? Avoid seed oils, and then what? Now that we've avoided seed oils and wheat, and then what? What next? So, some of the effects of reduced circulation. So how will you know you actually have reduced circulation? Number one. Oh, by the way, tomorrow we are having a... are we having a show tomorrow or next week? The Tuesday one, next week, right? So next week we are having the Testimonial Tuesday, next week. So on Monday next week we'll have a show, if God gives us the grace. And then on Tuesday we'll have Testimonial Tuesday. And then on Friday we'll have Identity Fridays. And then we close it up for the consultation that will start on the 26th. But this week we are having a show today on health and wellness sport. On Friday we'll have our identity shows on Friday. And we close it there, all right? So it's next week, not this week. Now, if you ever experience one very cold feet, either in the morning or in the evening, the tingling effects, you see these are basically the nerve problems, right? You have leg sores or you have ulcers on the legs, basically wounds that don't heal faster. Anytime you have a wound, you're struggling to heal that wound. Anytime you feel numbness and these fingers being very heavy, every time you look at your skin and it's very pale and it's not elastic, right? And looks very bluish because of cyanosis, basically deoxygenated blood. All these are symptoms of low circulation. It starts from there. And then it escalates to the joints, joint pains, muscle cramps, even on less activities, muscle weakness and wasting, because now you're not bringing in oxygen, therefore there's reduced metabolism. Now the muscle turns to anything that is in the muscle, either the protein, and also because it has exhausted the glycogen, now the protein in the muscle is broken down. Now you have weak muscles. And you've seen weak muscles in elderly, right? The same people who have these conditions. There are those who actually experience weak muscles. Joint stiffness and very much pain and inflammation in the joints. A diagnosis will come for arthritis. You start treating arthritis, but you've not fixed the NO production. You've not fixed the real problem, which is the gut. All right? Another one, fatigue. You even sleep for 8 hours, but you still wake up very tired and very fatigued. Sometimes you check your blood levels and they are okay, so you don't have anemia. You check your vitamin D supplementation, is most of the time is always down. You supplement it, but you're still feeling this fatigue and weaknesses. You have brain fogging in the morning, and you did not eat that. You did not take that tea with sugar and wheat in the morning. But again, at around 10, you're feeling a lot of dizziness, a lot of brain fog and memory loss. Sometimes you faint. And there are a lot of people who are coming in with mini strokes, but they did not know. So when you run a CT scan or an MRI, you realize they had a mini stroke before, so they fainted, but they didn't know. Because the CT scan and the images are showing, actually, there was a mini stroke previously. So all these conditions, they will show you a sign before they actually attack you badly. There are people who avoid shaking hands with because their hands are cold. Yes. So you can imagine that. I used to sweat my hands when I was a child, even in my teenage. So one day I went to visit my mother where she works. And then her friend insisted on shaking my hand. So she brought her hand. I went for, Nataka got her. Because I knew it was a weakness. So I knew my hands are so sweaty. And I know if men are here who sweat those hands, they know how dangerous it is. So shaming. All right. So I used to write in primary school. I'm writing, and then even the pen cannot write. The pen cannot write anymore. So now I have to have a handkerchief and keep doing this so that at least it soaks the cold. So now the sweat. So now I want to, you know, I'm protecting myself. So I want her to actually give me an igote, but she's insisting on a handshake. So she insisted to a level that she's telling me that is disrespect. Why am I greeting her that way? So I ended up shaking her hand anyway. And then the moment I shook her hand, the first thing she said is, "Na umesweat mkono." Those who don't understand Swahili, you have very sweaty hands. That's what she said. I got so pissed off. I got so pissed off on the identity. Hey? I got so pissed off, and I was just like, but I've insisted I don't want to shake your hand. Why do you want to shake my hand? Kwani wewe ni mchawi? I told her that. I was so angry that the words that came out of my mouth, and now you know the wrath. Because I turned and I saw the eyes that were coming from my mother. I'm like, hi, yeah. Today I'm not sleeping at home. I'd rather hang on a truck and find myself to Busia. I sleep with those eyes. No way. I knew this is another mistake. So, you know, she used to collect 9 mistakes to whip you once. So I knew this one is going to count to compare. So I'm like, no way. Mothers with their eyes. African mothers, the eyes alone are enough. So I told her, I had to share my part of the story. So I told her a big word. I told her, Mchawi, are you a witch? Because why are you insisting on shaking my hand, even if I don't want to? My mother did not understand that. Anyway, again, so syncope is fainting, right? We talked about that. Edema in the legs. Sometimes when him that exposes you to rupture of blood vessels. Thrombosis is there, label. Thank you. Tissue damage and amputations because, of course, the wound is not healing. What is happening to the YouTube channel? Oh, we are back. So people who have these amputations, basically people who are diabetic, they end up having amputations because of the same concept, right? But now we have people who have sores in the legs, people who have been admitted for the long period of time, and they sleep on one side, and then they have these sores, bed sores, and they can't heal. Healing comes in as a result of blood flow because blood carries white blood cells, the immune cells that are going to start the healing process. That's why if somebody shoots you with a bullet on the buttock, it will take you, you'll remember this guy for a lifetime. It will take you a lot of time before you heal. Or an injury on the heel where there's reduced blood flow. Doc, YouTube is buffering. Yes, I've seen that, but we are back. Thank you so much, Alpha Bright. We are back. All right, so you can imagine all those conditions are coming in as a result of reduced oxygen, reduced blood flow towards tissues, therefore reduced oxygen and nutrients, therefore malnutrition of the tissues and low oxygen, basically hypoxia, and therefore now inflammation is happening there. Now we have wounds. Now we have low immunity. Problems are coming in, and then of course you see we mentioned about the sinusitis. So this is so interesting. And all of them are linked to things, the same things: sedentarism, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, cigarette smoking, poor diets. Imagine. Hey, it's crazy. Then you go to hospital, they run a Doppler. They tell you, oh, you know, your blood vessels are narrowing and there's no blood flow towards the legs. That's why you're having this numbness. And then what do they recommend? We need to do angioplasty. We insert something, a gadget in your blood vessel, we open it up. When we open it up, we improve blood circulation. But does that gadget fix where the problem came in? It does not. And then they take you through a CT scan. Now you're told, you know what, you have a problem with the heart. You might end up having clotting. You might end up having this and a stroke and all that. And now you're in all this fancy. Blood tests are showing that, oh, your cholesterol is misbehaving, is up in the air. Of course it will misbehave because you're eating wheat and seed oils. Now they put you on a statin. Aye! Statin, yeah. I'm already suffering from low immunity because of this low circulation. Now you're putting me on a statin that will reduce my cholesterol. Now I don't have immunity because cholesterol is actually playing a very important role in vitamin D synthesis, which is the immune system. Now they put you on blood thinners, the warfarin, tablets every single day. Now they put you on platelets, antiplatelets, the aspirin and clopidogrel. How many drugs are those already? Plus drugs for hypertension, plus drugs for diabetes. So a drug for cholesterol, a drug for thinning blood, a drug for antiplatelets, a drug, 2 drugs or 3 drugs for hypertension, 2 drugs for diabetes, and then they add you compression socks. They add in Robion for nerves and pregabalin for nerves. Those are how many drugs? 9 already. And then there's a surgery for angioplasty. So are we going to put on socks, the stockings, compression stockings, and swallow the pills and go for angioplasty? Which one are we going to do? Name, out of these, name one that is actually solving where the problem is coming from. We've discussed the problem already. So name one that is going to improve NO production. Name one that is going to fix the gut. Name one that is going to change the diet. Have you seen any? I've mentioned 9 drugs already, plus 2 procedures, plus tests and scans. All that is money. But out of these things that I've mentioned, which one is solving the problem? None is solving the problem. All of them are solving the symptoms of the problem. The symptoms. So we are focusing on symptoms but ignoring the problem. Yes, all are symptomatic treatments. Angioplasty is fixing symptoms. And how much is angioplasty? How much? How much is that stent? The stent surgeries, how much are they? For your heart. How much are, oh, let's even go to the, let's forget the surgeries. How much is compression socks? The stockings. Yeah, how much are the compression stockings? And now you go back and the doctor says, these ones are not tight enough. You need to buy another one which is tighter so that it can actually help you compress the blood to improve blood flow. People who have DVT know this. People who have varicose veins know this. Now in the varicose veins, they either cut and remove the vein that is actually having problems and replace it, or they do a bypass. Even in the heart, the lungs, they can do a bypass, right? How much are those surgeries? How much are those socks? Socks are 7,000, 4 to 6,000. Yes, averagely, let's say about 10,000, right? Averagely. So you bought 2 because you know what? The first one failed. Now you have another one. 10,000. How much are drugs for hypertension and diabetes monthly? By brand name, leave alone metformin. Talk about glucophage or glucophage XR because that's what they write, right? Talk about exfoliage. How much is the dialysis now? Because you take the same medication, you still end up in dialysis. How much do they charge now on amputations? Dialysis where I am is 10,000 per day per session. So now you have 3 sessions. That is 30,000 times 4 in a month. That is 120,000. Somebody's salary. Yani, there's a way chronic conditions, and it's just simple. There's a way chronic conditions can actually run you so broke. You have millions in your account. You don't have money. No, you don't. How can you not? Yes, okay. How can you not open these WhatsApp groups and start disturbing other people? How? So you think when you tell us that we will all one day die, you think it's interesting, right? And then you will come with those WhatsApp groups and put Bible verses there to actually lure us, to actually provide for you now. But now, we shall all die. Let's have fun. Shisha is the best, right? Seed oils are the best. I can't drop with dog. What are you saying, right? And it starts with a small thing. One day you have erectile dysfunction. You become angry. You drop that woman. You change the woman because you're seeking validation. You get another woman. Same thing happens. You drop. Now you're converting every woman you meet into a slut to serve you. Your weak erections. Now you have sinuses all the time, and you're blowing your nose every single time. You're using all these antihistamines, but you cannot relate it to this, right? You see how big it is? Basics. So what you should understand. You're having numbness, but you're thinking, oh, you know what? I had numbness, and I went and took 𝗕𝗓𝗧𝗥𝗓𝗡 tablets, and I got better. That's a sign. You have hypertension that you're treating is not going anywhere. Hypertension is going to weaken those valves in the veins in the legs. Now you have DVT. Now you have varicose veins. Now you start wondering, where did I get varicose veins? Now you go for a surgery. But you still eat the same things. If any case, you come out of that surgery and we have prepared a cake to celebrate your surgery. Alikuwa ameenda, alikuwa theater. Yabira mpieta. Huko kwetu we call it pieta, mpieta. Yeah, he came out of theater. You know how theater is serious. He would have died. Let's celebrate him by cutting this cake and we feed him. Did you see what Mr. Ibu did? May his soul rest in peace. This guy is going for amputation and they are feeding him cake on his birthday. Eh? But when Dr. Lewis is preaching this all the single time, every time, I'm telling him he's very harsh on you, right? He's harsh. He's harsh. Even when we put a comedy show for medicine here, you say, oh, this one, ego. I'm like, okay. Our paths shall cross one day. Unfortunately, our paths will always cross when it's too late for you. So stop being my follower. Practice. At least take yourself on a journey for just 2 months. Practice it and see what happens to you. Please. Eating clean has no side effects. There's nothing wrong with eating clean. So even if you hate me as a medic, don't hate your kitchen. Hate me, but change the kitchen. Even if you don't like fasting, make sure you just do 2 meals a day. It's very important. Look at the other one. Ask me what course did I do. Do you have a job? Are you advertising a job? Please, what job are you having? Advertise, it'll come if I don't have a job. Doris, which course did you do? How is my course important to you as a person? Doris, huh? How is my course your business? You want to pay for my PhD? Eh? Are you the one who won 𝗥𝗡𝗧𝗥𝗓𝗢 jackpot? Now you're interested in funding our education? Or you want to fund my research? Eh? So you think now I've just come here to waste time? Use bundles, take time to read and research, and then come and display. You ask me, which course did you do? Which course did you do, Doris? Which course? Which course did you do? Not me, you. A listening course? Hello, Doris. Wacha tukuache. Okay? Amazing. So you just said, said my mind about Mr. Ibu. Yes. I was so upset about that. And at that moment in time, I was sharing it with my friend. The moment I saw that video, actually, I think I made a reaction video on it on my Telegram. And I was just like, what is happening? Now everybody shifted their minds to the daughter who wanted to steal his platform and all that. Me, I'm looking at it in a different angle. I'm not looking at it in terms of stealing his platforms. No. I was looking at it in terms of, you know what? What really brought Ibu here? Sugar, right? So why are we feeding him sugar? We've seen these things happening. I've told you this multiple times, you don't understand. Even your online influencers who are injecting Ozempic, have you seen one of them losing weight? Have you? Shortcuts. Stop shortcuts, okay? Have you seen them losing weight? You've seen the other one trending. Before the butt lift was okay, she's going to another wedding to eat more cakes. Now she's sitting on butts that have not dried up. So we thought, you know what? This one is injecting Ozempic. Looks very nice. Now all influencers are heading for Ozempic. Before we even loaded that Ozempic is working, she's going for a butt lift. We are like, okay, was it not, the matter was not the weight. It was now the butt and is it BBL, Brazilian butt lift and all that. We are like, okay. So let's fix that, okay? Before it is even okay, Matope haijakauka. She's somewhere else again. She's sitting on. Well, can you have patience? Can you just let the wound heal? The other day your eyes were bursting because of puffiness. Now you want cake in a wedding. Influencers will kill us all. They will. They will kill us all. Another one who is totally acting like a doctor. But I said, okay, maybe we can trust this one because of what he's doing. Maybe he's doing practical things. I'm like, okay. Before I close my eyes, I open. He's selling products. I'm like, okay, so this is a product for cracks in the legs, this for the skin. I'm like, yeah, okay, we are here now. All of us are here to make a living. That's the major role anyway. So as you trust, be very cautious. Be very cautious. The easiest way to trust people is to do research on your own. Even if I'm coming here sounding very convincing, go read. Listen to my videos, but go read about nitric oxide. Go read about causes of conditions. Yes, always trust but verify. Always. Please, put in the work. Any questions? So I was going through this and I was just getting annoyed because imagine if you decide to work out 3 days in a week, not even heavy workout, just walk. And then you decide to eat clean. Basically just drop all those carbs. If you can. If you can't, minimize carbs and put them in only one meal. Take 2 meals a day. Basically start the fasting procedures. Quit alcohol and cigarette smoking. Enjoy the sun intentionally. Reduce stress levels. Take cold showers. And then just take yourself on a journey for about 2 months. Is diabetic? I'm diabetic. When try to fast, I feel like I'm dying. First things first, Doris, you're not diabetic. No, you're not. You've been diagnosed with diabetes. Number 2, there are a lot of videos on my YouTube platform that are labeled diabetes. Just go on Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube and search the playlist for diabetes. On the playlist, just go for diabetes. You will never be the same person again. If you are even in deeper, go on the live section and search any video in my live section that talks about diabetes. Very simplified, very easy to understand. Take yourself on a journey for about 2 months only. That is 8 weeks. And see what happens to you. If your question is not answered, kindly join the Health and Wellness Spot platform on Telegram. Thank you, Kekeli. Yes, I have a Telegram platform that is called Health and Wellness Spot. Let me just show you guys. Some of you don't want this information. So there are a lot of questions that we answer, and people help me answer these questions on Telegram. But of course, most of you, your search history is all porn. So when you go to Telegram, all it brings to you is porn and the likes of Alicia Kanini. That's what you like watching. So when you go there, it produces all that. So I have this platform on Telegram. It's called Health and Wellness Spot. It even has my logo. All right, people on my YouTube. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if they can see that, but there's a platform on. Let me just try and see. Is it visible? Yeah. Good. So that platform is called Health and Wellness Spot on Telegram. Has about 7,200 people. Very interesting platform. You can change your life for the better on that one. I also have another platform on Facebook. Just a minute. It's amazing that on Facebook we are almost clocking 100,000 people. That is also my page on Facebook. It's called Dr. Lewis Muchile. Basically, just search Lewis Muchile. You will see that. All right. Again, that's on YouTube. Good. So those are my platforms. Lewis Muchile on YouTube, Lewis Muchile on Facebook, Lewis Muchile on Instagram, Health and Wellness Spot on TikTok. Follow us, please. If you've not followed us, follow us. You can follow us, you can like the live and share it, no problem. Also, Dr. Lewis Muchilo on Telegram, on TikTok. On YouTube, I have 2 platforms. One runs shows on Monday, the one that I'm actually on right now, Health and Wellness Sport. And the other one is Uncle Chile, which runs shows on Fridays. You can't miss out on those shows. All the shows come in at 8:30 p.m. Kenyan time. All right? Good. So let me go back to the question that was asked by, was it Mukire? So yes, NO has no effect on the menstrual cycle. NO is just the one that actually maintains circulation. So for you to actually have a menstrual cycle, blood is involved. And also, for you to have a perfect menstrual cycle, you need the prostaglandins to constrict and basically constrict the blood vessels and then help in the sloughing off of the uterine wall, because it causes the slowing off of the endometrial wall. That is a function of blood circulation also. But having an issue in terms of affecting your menstrual cycle, I don't think that's a big deal there. My uncle said we should not be sharing videos in family groups and related to family issues. Tunajaza group. I would share your videos from here. He ignored everything. Sad, he died on Saturday with a pot belly. Yeah. Well, uncle, please rest with the angels. Uncle, we want to join you someday, but not now. So we allow you to rest in peace. All right? We don't even feel bad that he passed on. No. We are supposed to be so emotionless that he passed on. Okay, amazing. What next? Oh, this one is suffering. Amazing. What next? So on Fridays is when we whip off all these emotions in you on Uncle Chile platform. So there's an Uncle Chile platform on YouTube. Oh, you can't miss out on content of that show. Identity Fridays, right? It whips all these emotions out of you. The need to think that the world actually owes you anything. So if your uncle dies, you simply say, oh, rest in peace, uncle. And then you finish the burial. And next time you're somewhere eating your roasted meat. They're like, this one is the one who bewitched the uncle. Imagine after the burial, she went to eat meat. You're like, that's a... that's how you don't eat meat because uncle has died. But you guys slaughtered a bull at uncle's burial. Eh? Do you see how people pretend in a funeral? In Western and Nyanza and Kisii, a funeral is a whole event. They even hire a village DJ to come and play that disco matanga. In Western, my friend, me, I'm telling you, you have to wait for his sons from the US to come. Ako na kijana ng'ambo. Mbona hamtaki kijana ng'ambo? Acha kijana akuje kutoka ng'ambo. So you have to wait for this son to come so that you can actually start planning for the burial in Western. Now, sijui matanga ya nani hawakuchinja bull. Kwa hivyo lazima tununue bull mbili. Ya kwanza ichinjwe kwa ile matanga ya ule ndo tuchinje ya huyu. I'm like, "Ai." And then people come, these professional mourners. I think everybody in that family is a professional mourner. In Western, everybody is a professional mourner. So these guys, they like comparing funerals with weddings. Ati matanga ya nani ilikuwa nzuri kuliko harusi ya nani. I'm like, the funeral belonging to this one was way ranked in that village above the wedding. That was why? Because huko tulikuwa tunalia tukimaliza hivi chai, tukimaliza hivi njuku, alafu walichinja ng'ombe. But people in Western, you waste a lot of money. You waste a lot of money and resources on a funeral. Following all these crazy outdone cultures. These are the dead. Let them rest. Unajua wepo kuliwa kuchinjiwa ng'ombe, kwa hivyo papa yake hawezi chinjiwa ng'ombe. Amu kuchinjia papu, wait until he's somebody who was married. Oh, now currently I just saw a story in where I come from, Kima. People in Kima, they know. So a neighbor of ours was I don't know if it is remarrying. Okay, so she was married, and then I think they had issues with the husband, and then she dropped the marriage, then ran to Nairobi to go and hustle her way out. And then in Nairobi, she met an uncle of mine. An uncle of mine looked at her and said, "Hey, mommy, mommy, you know, I have a shoulder to lean on, mommy." And mommy said, the other one was bad. I didn't even feel like I should divorce. I just walked out of that marriage because that one was a bad one. Imagine. Alikuwa ananipiga, so unaona hata niko na alama. My uncle was like, "Oh, you know what, mommy? I got you. Come here." Hey. So now, fast forward, the woman died. He's not a part of comedy. Because serious, he's comedy. So now the woman died. Now uncle is there with a black suit. You know those guys with suits, and then with sports shoes and like a cape. And that kakoti that looks like this, you know? You know that kakoti? So uncle is there. You know, yake yote, amevaa yake yote. So he has come here to bury. He's waiting. You know, the plans are happening, and he wants to bury his wife. Before they even remove this woman from the mortuary, the other family was here. Huyu bibi hakuachwa, tunakuchukua mwili yetu. My uncle is like, mwili gani? You should have seen my uncle with the panga. Afanye mipanga chini ati na sharpen panga. Nitaua mtu hapa sasa. Tutazika wawili. We shall bury two. Pipi yangu nataka kuchukua. So I don't know what is with lawyers and burials. People come crying and this guy is seriously crying like kwani ulimjua? Did you know the one who is died? Hata mimi simjui. And now they sit around a fire. Unaita shitioli, ndio. They want I don't know who, by then there are people in the village who are so fast with these things. The way they cut a tree and then they light a tree, mti ni mbichi, but they light it and it makes a fire all night long. These guys are seated around the fire. These guys forgot they were crying. They're asking for chicken. They want to roast chicken in that fire. I'm like, but bro, you are crying. You didn't even know who you were crying for. Oh, ni ule mama. Sikujua. Poleni sana. Iko pusa. Na muziki, mmesema DJ atakuwa nani? Oluwano is coming. Or Babuji. Nyinyi Waluya mkuwe serious bwana. We spend too much money and resources and we even drain those who are actually suffering. And then there is this thing called Sadaka Maalum. This guy, Sadaka Maalum, is basically giving out some coins to the family and some tokens so that the family can actually feel comforted. These guys will changa 2,000 shillings on Sadaka Maalum. And whatever they've eaten in that home. 2,000. Matanga na tulikula. Guy still gives 10 shillings for Sadaka Maalum, and he's eaten more than they bereaved. So when they've buried, now everything is settling down. You realize you guys have spent a lot of money. People spend even $1 million on a funeral, only to come out with that 2,000 shillings. And I've seen there's a bus that actually rolled along Kisumu-Busia highway and killed 21 people. And I think 9 people from one family. That is so sad. May they rest in peace. So you can imagine the chaos that will be there. People totally forget about the sadness. It's all about food. It's all about how much was spent here. 21 mourners. Imagine that. It was so sad, man. But anyway, we move on, right? Yeah, we move on. Another question. Treating symptoms. I've experienced that and it's not good at all. You keep on taking medication without progress. You will take those medications with no progress at all. I'm telling you for free. Like, you look at it this way. How long have you taken medication for hypertension and medication for diabetes, but you're still the same person? If medication was the ultimate solution for this, you take medication for 2 months, you're out of these conditions. But how is it possible? Even your doctor cannot tell you the certainty of this medication. A simple condition like arthritis, the doctor tells you, unajua nini? This one you have to take medication for a lifetime. We don't know. We don't know if look at psychotic conditions, gut problems, psychotic conditions. They put you on antipsychotics or antidepressants, And you ask the doctor or your psychiatrist, how long am I supposed to take this medication? He tells you, we will be monitoring. Hey, those antipsychotics are going to cause you erectile problems. Those antidepressants are going to cause you a very messed up gut, therefore more depression. But when they're writing the prescription, they are very confident because the guidelines are saying that. But you ask them, for how long am I going to take this medication? Because if at all I wasn't born with this condition, it means it can actually disappear. So for how long am I going to take this medication? Look at them disappear. Look at them become angry and hard on you. Thanks, Dr. You're amazing. Always telling us what is right. Keep it up. You have changed many lives, and I keep preaching the gospel of good health from your teachings. Amazing. Be inspired and then inspire. I went through all that with 9 medications and new stockings every 2 months. You guys think I'm crazy, right? This is who? This is this is Jen Mwendo. Oh, by the way, by the time I was meeting, I was doing a consultation with Jen Mwendo, and it was only an online consultation with Jen Mwendo. She had a lot of issues in terms of DVT and all that. And shout out to you, Jen Mwendo. You did well. Like, you're one of the people that I'm actually proud of, and you're a good example because you took this so deep and so passionate. So I actually celebrate you. I went through all that with 9 medications and new stockings every 2 months. I'm now free from DVT, hypertension, heart palpitations, varicose veins, insomnia, obesity. Hose is home. Those of you who don't know what hose is, a health and wellness sport. And this was amazing. This is a good testimony. Like literally, because when we started that journey, she didn't see it. Most times I always see the end result of the program. But most people don't see it because of the desperation that has actually happened. Imagine going through all these things and taking all these medications. And of course, the desperation that is coming with that, nothing else will make sense at all. Nothing will make sense because everything looks like you're totally out, right? Until you try it and you realize, oh, okay, kumbe it was a con game. So then we are here. So then the doctor starts feeding her lies, telling her, with reverse hypertension, at that moment in time, she's free from drugs for hypertension. The doctor is insisting, you can't heal hypertension. She's like, okay. And then the doctor offers her tea with bread and chapati, brown chapati. She's like, I'm fasting. The doctor runs a urinalysis test, sees ketones in urine. Then he's like, you might be getting into diabetic ketoacidosis. The doctor did not even know that she was on a fast. Ay, daktari. Kachu, daktari. So some of you doctors, and I'm here, I'll be here to just see. A lot of doctors will run away from those consultation rooms. They will. Because the questions that are going to come are going to become difficult. See you on Identity Fridays. See you on Friday. Good. What else here? Somebody wants to make a call here? God's son. I hope it's a question related to the conversation. Hello, God's son. What causes eye puffiness? A lot of things. One can be an issue with the lymphatic system. Number 2, of course, go and check your sugar status. Do a HbA1c and a CRP. Check your kidney function tests.
So good evening.
Good evening, God's son. What is your name?
I'm Peter.
Yes, Peter. Talk to us.
So I'm in Ghana. I'm from Ghana, but I'm chancing on your video. I wanted to call and then ask for something that is bothering me for a while now. So I went to do my liver test, and then I found out my GGT and then my ALTs are all above the normal ranges. And also I found out my bad glucose, which is the LDL, is also high. So I wanted to find out, and I've realized my BP2 is around 129, 90. That is my blood pressure. So I wanted to find out if there is anything wrong with me, and if there is any way you can help.
What is your cooking oil?
I normally use veggies, vegetable oil, granola to be specific.
How old are you?
32 years.
What is your current body weight?
The last time I checked, I weigh around 85 kg.
All right, so you are 85 kgs.
In fact, I checked. Yeah, I checked, and they said I'm in the obesity range based on my height.
So you are obese. You are 32 years. You consume seed oils. Do you consume wheat?
No, I don't really like wheat. Normally, my foods are either rice or Indomie.
The question is not if you like. The question is, do you consume?
Yeah, this is the food that I consume, rice and Indomie. I don't take in wheat.
So what is Indomie made of?
I think they said flour. I've not really checked about that.
Do you have Indomie there?
Not currently in the house. I buy it outside. I don't cook.
So which flour is used to make Indomie?
Doc, to be honest, I don't really know.
So you don't like wheat, but you consume Indomie?
I didn't say I don't like wheat. I'm saying I don't. The wheat that I know is this our normal wheat. I don't know about the other ones. That is why I was saying that.
All right. When was the last time you ate 8 eggs in a sitting?
I don't remember eating 8 eggs.
All right. Do you eat eggs?
I like fried eggs. Yeah.
And you fry them with canola?
Yes, sir.
All right. How many times do you eat in a day?
Before I went for the test, I normally eat at least 2 times. But after the test, I've been trying this intermittent fasting, so I do once. But I break it off with the same food. So I think that is why I'm not seeing it.
So what do you mean when you say intermittent fasting?
I was watching one of your videos one time, and I saw that saying it's good we skip our breakfast and stuff. So I normally don't eat anything. I just take in water, and then at least around 6 p.m. then I try and eat.
So you don't eat throughout the day until 6 p.m.?
Yes. That is after I went to do the test.
All right.
Because I thought maybe that will help with obesity.
Okay. Apart from fasting, what else are you doing that I actually advocate for now that you've been following my videos?
Okay. I have also started incorporating with the walks. I do at least 10,000 steps a day.
Okay. So now exercise and intermittent fasting. How long have you done that?
Pretty much like 2 weeks now.
All right. And in that video that you saw me talking about intermittent fasting, what else did you learn from that video? Apart from just fasting?
Okay, so I learned about we trying to change our diet as well, but because I didn't really get much information, I don't know where to start from, like from the diet aspect. Because I learned the diet is also a key in this and that.
Which platform did you learn that information
from? And then from your sub small videos that normally you do. That is, it's today that I've seen you on live actually, but your sub small videos that normally you put on TikTok, on your platform.
On TikTok, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, on TikTok. That is the only place I've seen.
All right. Thank you for your honesty. Do you consume fruits?
Not too much, but once in a while I take in coconut.
Oh, so you only consume coconut?
Yeah, I don't like the other fruit.
All right. Do you drink?
I'm not a fan of it.
Do you drink milk or milk tea?
Yes.
And do you use sugar?
Actually, I'm a fan of sugar. All my sodas were cooked before I got to this stage. But
Godson. Godson, where are you going to? Godson, you ran? Hey, Godson. Are you still there? Come on, Godson. Come on, you can't do that to us, godson. The spirit of God has actually shined upon your path. Yet that consumeth seed oileth. Godson, bwana, how can you do that to us? We want to teach people in Ghana through you, bwana. You've got to snack a little bit. So listen, godson, if I were you, I will not rely on what is on TikTok. TikTok is just snippets of this live, snippets of videos that we do on YouTube. So what you should do, you should go on my YouTube channel and search a video called Diet Plan. There will come, multiple videos will come. Also, go on the playlist part, search diabetes, search hypertension, search cholesterol. All these videos are there aligned in those playlists. You will enjoy free content. Go on YouTube, Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube. Don't rely on TikTok. Go on Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube. And then sit down and understand the basics. You can't be consuming canola when your levels of cholesterol, you're even talking about bad cholesterol and focusing your energy on the bad cholesterol instead of focusing the energy on dropping the Indomie. How can you be my follower and still eat Indomie? But you don't like wheat, but you eat Indomie. You don't like wheat. I mean, I'm not a chapati guy, but I do brown bread. I'm not a sugar guy, but I'm always eating honey. I don't eat a lot of sugars. Me, I know natural sugars are the best, so I eat fruits. I don't like so much, food that is cooked in so much fats. I don't like the fats that are coming with the meat, but I cook my foods in canola. It's the same thing. Just go on YouTube and sit down. It's Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube. You will find all information that you need and you will become a better person. All right? So it's very understandable. But I want you to see, guys. You see, most people, they pick a small portion of my video and they use it. We just saw the expose that came in with that doctor. Picks one video on my TikTok and then uses that video to actually gain mileage. And then the worst thing is he tags me in that video without knowing that that was just a portion of our whole entire life. We do lives here. This is 2 hours, 26 minutes of a live. So when you take one portion of that video to just put it on TikTok, I'm actually telling you on TikTok, hey, I cannot put a whole live here. Please walk to YouTube and go and check out that live and learn. But we don't want to put in the work. So then what do? Now you decide to take one of my videos and you react to it, and I'm just looking at you and laughing. Because everybody who is actually coming at your comment section was on my live and understood exactly what I was talking about. It's only you who is posting the video and reacting to it that has no idea of what we talked about. So it's very laughable. And we actually laugh at you and we just say, okay, we move next. All right? So yes, please put in the work. Go on YouTube channel, Health and Wellness Spot, and find out more information about that video. Don't use that small video. And you see, I've talked about fasting in most of my videos. And I cannot talk about fasting without talking about how to break a fast and meals to eat before fasting or after fasting. I'm not a guy who will just jump in and tell you, you know what, because you need to fast. No, I'll tell you what to eat and then you start fasting. That's what I do. So don't just jump to videos like that. All right, is there any other question before we call it a night? I think it has been an interesting live, and I believe most of us have learned something from that. We need our rest, we need our 8. At the brown sugar, yes, they drop white sugar to take brown sugar. They drop normal sugar to eat sugar cane. They drop sugar to take honey. All right? So yeah, we can call it a night, and we will see you again on Monday next week on Health and Wellness Spot. But on Friday, we'll see you on a live at 8:30 p.m. on Identity Fridays. The channel on YouTube is called Uncle Chile. So Uncle Chile is a platform that teaches you about identities. But Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube is a platform that actually talks about health matters. So all your questions are actually answered on Health and Wellness Spot in terms of health. And all your questions in terms of fixing identities and overcoming anger and false identities are actually answered on Friday's shows that happen on Uncle Chile platform on YouTube on Identity Friday. So once again, thank you so much for being part of us. It's been 2 hours and 30 minutes of just talking all through. Thank you for those who have shared their gifts. Thank you for those who have liked the live and shared it. Thank you for those who have sent us tokens. Thank you for those people who have stuck on YouTube and are actually members on my YouTube platform. Actually join the membership on YouTube channel so that you can actually get more information. There are videos that are actually locked for only members, so you can pay a subscription so that you can actually watch them. Go there, support the platform. Also support us by buying our merchandise on Health and Wellness Spot. Fermented cabbages, roasted coffee, t-shirts, mugs, water bottles, tallow, beef tallow and sheep tallow, activated charcoal. All those things are available at Imenti House, second floor, shop number 60. Brian Omwenga is the guy who can actually serve you right. You can use the contact that I posted here, the office contact 0707 07 47 22 to book an appointment with us for either an online consultation or a physical consultation. Just send a text on WhatsApp. Also, on Friday, we are starting a 2-month weight loss program. You can be part of that weight loss program. It doesn't matter if you've been on my weight loss programs before or not. You can simply join in again and redo these things over and over and until you get your goals achieved. So join in and let's help you lose your weight. Let's help you maintain the consistency. Let's also help you know how to maintain the lost weight. All right. So join in. Send a WhatsApp message on 0707 07 47 22. And you shall be responded to. Book a slot, and then okay, on Friday we'll give you a call, and then we start our processes. Okay, so thank you so much for being part of us. We'll see you on Friday on Identity Fridays, no problem. I have a platform on Telegram called Health and Wellness Sport. Join that platform. I have a platform on Facebook called Lewis Muchile. Join that platform so that we can become better as a team. The more the numbers, the better we are as a people. All right. Because they'll start listening. Of course, they are listening because we are about 34,000 on YouTube, 99,000 on Facebook, 7,000 on Telegram, 7,000 on X, and 7,000 on Instagram. And these platforms are just becoming, and about 260,000 on TikTok. So it's amazing. Thank you so much for being part of us, and thank you for being an amazing audience. Don't be shy to share the live again. Go on YouTube, it's there, it shall be uploaded, so you can check it out tomorrow. And of course, you have a good night, have a good morning or a good afternoon, depending on where you are. We'll see you again on Friday. Amazing.